But as you can see, these numbers, even nationally, are still very high. This next section, I'm going to share with you some of the findings of the recent studies and surveys that we've been able to now pull together from travel now that we are in month 4 or so of this crisis. When asked about shopping, 79% told us that they would change their shopping behavior, that they have changed their shopping behavior since things have started. 84% expect to continue to avoid or minimize in-person shopping. A large percent will take into account how much in-person contact they will have when they decide to go shopping or visit a retail establishment. A large number will also likely are likely to visit if that business takes the time to really talk through its standards and procedures. And in fact, a large amount will also seek it out ahead of time. So safety is really important, and they're definitely looking for information. There are a number of things that they expect to stay after this crisis passes. One of the best silver linings for consumers is that they love curbside pickup. So 87% would love to see that continue even after COVID has been addressed. And they plan to walk the walk. They agree that they are going to wear face masks, avoid crowds, socially distance, and carry hand sanitizer when they travel and when they visit other areas. They also have strong support of having masks be worn in public. Over the majority, or three times the number of people support state enforcement of masks than those who oppose it. And they also, in high numbers, support the new 14-day quarantine between states that's been talked about around the country. And in fact, when you look at the reasons for avoiding an area for visiting, they're all safety related. So if they see cases on the rise, or see too much news about problems with that destination, or if they see other visitors or other locals, other people not taking the steps to mask or socially distance, or if they see crowds, these are the reasons that they will avoid an area. So given all of this information, which in many cases runs counter to what we read in the news, and also I think sometimes counter to what businesses are experiencing. There's a great article by the New Gorge newspaper, the Chronicle / Hood River News / is it the Pioneer? No, it's the White Salmon. There's a great article in today's that was just released that talks about some of the issues that folks have been experiencing with travelers not wanting to being aggressive with not wanting to wear masks and such. But I think what this shows is that there's also a very strong pushback by most people for when those precautions are not taken. So what I'd like to do is break into groups and discuss what are some COVID-friendly ideas for visitors in the Gorge. If you have a pen and a paper right now, I'd love for you to grab it. And I'm going to give you a few thoughts in the next few seconds to get you thinking for your discussion. So here's some thoughts for your discussion. Staging is a really good way to think about how to come up with ideas for both businesses and organizations as well as towns in the region. Which stage are we in helps us to identify things that are appropriate to that stage. These are some of the key messages that the Gorge has developed for the region. We're currently in How to Visit the Gorge. So those ideas about how to safely visit could come into that section. And other ones would be developed for a rollback. But let's focus on inviting visitors in a safe way. Another way to think about this as we are all personally feeling comfortable walking out our door. Think of this as from our front door. First, we're comfortable visiting local, then we might take a day trip, then we might stay overnight, then we may fly, and then we may go internationally. So this is another way to think of stages in terms of which ideas would be applicable to each section. This is another great piece of data. It's a lot, but basically what I want to show you is that there are a number of different activities, and they run from comfort on one end, which is outdoor hiking, all the way to international cruising on the other end. And we have a number of things in the gorge that are on the left-hand side. So hiking and biking, taking a road trip, going shopping, dining in, visiting a museum or aquarium. These are the things that we have in our area that we can start to play with and think about ways of coming up with ideas. Speaking of road trips, 85% of travelers are planning or likely to take a road trip this summer. So they want to change the scenery and they want to get outdoors. So maybe there's some ideas around road trip. If you look at the data for Oregon and Washington on road trips, this is a great index that shows that from April, road trips are increasing, and they're increasing in their number of how far away they get from their door as well. So we can see that this is a real opportunity for coming up with, again, safe ideas around visitors in the gorge during the summer. Nevada has a lot of road trip ideas. So if you think of different themes, different things that would fit a road trip, that's what we're looking for here. And if you look at the attributes, so not just by stage, but attributes of things that folks are looking for. Oops, this is actually the red, ignore the red dots, I moved them. But uncrowded is something that the gorge, that people are looking for and that the gorge has, and also close to nature. So those are things that folks are looking for. Uncrowded, in a different study, showed that almost 70% listed that as a top concern, which again is an interesting thing when we're looking at managing our areas. Talking about their areas being crowded might keep people away. So when we're talking about kind of balancing out our messaging for the region, we can use some of these things both to gently pull people in and give them things that will help our economy, but also signal to folks our readiness levels. Flexibility is the other aspect that you might want to play with when you're talking about it. 97% of stays that are booked right now are in the refundable. They're able to be refunded. So people are looking for last minute, things that they can do without planning. As we all know, things are very much in flux. And so if we come up with ideas that help support that, that would be great as well. Okay, great. So what I'd love to do, I'm going to put you into groups of 5 or 6. I'd love for you to discuss some of the ideas for COVID-friendly visitors in the gorge. So think of it by stage and then by benefit of safety, uncrowded, outdoors, and flexible.